All right, I think we're good. Yep, there we go. Excellent connection. What up, guys? We're going to wait just really quick. Nate is inbound. So we're just going to do a little bit of just chatting before the intro and the show actually starts, which I like. That's fun. I always like doing the just chatting. So let's just get into it. Yeah, let's talk for a little bit. Who's all here? Anybody here? Anybody here? Check 1 2. Anybody here? Hello? Check the phones. I think we're good on audio though. I know I've got the music pretty low, but it is what it is. It's time to get a haircut. It's getting long. Cannot wait to open these. Yes. Open that on Shuffle Wizard. And set a poll. What up, Jaden? We're just waiting for Nate. Putting in a random poll question that has nothing to do with comics. We will do a legit poll though once we get there, but it's gonna be like overwhelmingly no. Jaden, how are you doing tonight? How was you went to work? Was it today that you went to work at 6? Guess I could turn the music up a little bit. Can't really hear it at all. Or can you hear it? It's pretty low, but I mean it's low style music anyway. Guess I should put that in the chat. Let's go to YouTube. Subscriptions. Where are we at here? I don't have to like look them up. I have to look my channel up because it's not popping up on the side. 6230. Die. What up, Patty? There's my channel. 17 subscribers. What's up? Let's grab that link. We'll just put it in there for anybody and everybody that isn't. Because we're about to open some crazy packs next Friday. I'm super stoked. All right, let's... Oh, there he is. He's here. There he is. Can he hear me, though? Can he hear me? I can't hear him. Oh, he's... Okay. He's through my crap. Wait, hold on. Doing this on the fly. Where is it? There it is. Everything's default. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, let's run this intro then. And then we'll be back with y'all. Y'all answer that poll question now. All right, let's do the intro.
On your left.
The liberation of mutant kind has begun.
Welcome to the future.
Who's this clown?
Not clown, Joker.
Avengers!
Assemble.
Nobody tampers with the equipment except Tony Stark.
Good idea.
United, the Avengers are strong.
Hawkeye, hands off.
Fool! Have you forgotten my invincible magnetic power?
Not this time, Magneto.
My mutant brain senses danger.
Something unseen is slowly spreading its poisons, edging tempers.
Think carefully before you do this.
You filthy criminals.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, we made it. We made it to episode 67 of Two Fat Guys Pull List. We're pulling it on a Saturday. Oh, it's the baby. Night night. Anyway, we made it to 67, and yeah, we had to do it on a Saturday night just because we have some prior engagements tomorrow. So we just wanted to run and have our episode tonight rather than just completely canceling outright because we don't want to leave y'all hanging. We know y'all like to listen to us talk about our comics and nerd out, and so we are here for you.
Yeah.
Anyway, let me get through a couple things of just some business, and then we'll get to the pulls. First of all, we are partnered with our LCS Collected Comics and Games and BrainyComics.com. We talk about it every week. And yeah, we've got our Two Fat Guys upgrade and premium upgrade on there on BrainyComics.com. So if you don't know what BrainyComics.com is, it is the website that our Collected Comics and Games uses for their online presence, and they have a premium and a upgraded premium for when you decide to check out if you buy anything on BrainyComics.com. Especially what it is essentially is if you do the upgrade Two Fat Guys Pull List, you get a random exclusive cover that Ron may have or that has in his store. Now, if you go to BrainyComics.com, he's got a ton of exclusives already up on the site at the front page. He's got a really cool Venom. He's got a Hulk up there that looks really kick-ass. He's got some pretty sick and awesome exclusive covers up there. So you could potentially getting one of those. So if you do the upgrade, it's $8. You get one exclusive mystery exclusive cover. If you do for $15, you get two. And most of these covers are worth anywhere between $15 to $20. So it's a pretty awesome deal that you can get there if you do the upgrade. So go to BrainyComics.com if you want, and go ahead and get yourself some comics and then get some potential exclusives in your haul as well. So go check them out. The other business that we have to talk about, which we always talk about during our shows, is we're trying to hit 1,000 subscribers. We're at 553 as we speak right now. And, we want to hit that 1,000 so we can give away a first appearance of Silk, Amazing Spider-Man issue number 4, 9.8 CBCS graded. It's way over there. It's buried, but we are giving it away. So do subscribe. Tell your friends to subscribe so we can hit that number and take off to the moon, and then we can set the next goal, whatever that's going to be, 1,100, 2,000, whatever. Anyway, that is the business for the show. Let's get into our pools. So first up, we have Sword, issue number 10 from Al Ewing. From Al Ewing. And yeah, we've got it was a good issue, but it was a little weird. And we'll wait for Nate to get back, but it, I was expecting one thing. We kind of got that a little bit, but then it went in a different direction at the end. So this issue, I don't know. I don't want to say it was bad, but it just felt like I'm happy it didn't go in the direction I thought it was going to go, which was Mars is about to get obliterated and we're losing all of the progress that we made in Hickman. And
we still got an issue left.
We do. You're right. We do. But so essentially WizKid is this sleeper agent for Orcus. He sabotages Sword Base 1, I believe, not Sword Base 2. He takes out Cable, but he doesn't quite take him out. And he then becomes a triple agent once he's on Orcus's base. And Brand knew that this was happening, so she flipped him again. So he's good, bad, good. Maybe. I don't know. It was weird. It had all the cosmic stuff that Ewing has been... You know what? I figured it out. I was like, these don't feel right.
Aha.
There we go. I was like, this just feels weird. Because the cord's never on this side. Anyway, it had Ewing's like typical cosmic shit. You know, we've got this cloned bounty hunter group for sale stuff that he put in there, which I thought was really cool. That took out most of the Shi'ar guard or whatever, which I think that's awesome. We still don't know who, or at least I couldn't tell who's in charge of that. We get like a little, like, if you want to call it a cameo of who's taking control of it, but they're basically like an army for hire. You know, you can set up one group or you can set up a fucking army, like a legit, like millions of troops of the same group that took out the Shi'ar guard. So that was cool, but this whole triple agent with WizKid, I don't know. Yeah. It felt, this must be the fluff, right? This must be the filler that we've been hearing about. That's kind of like between Hickman's vision and what's next.
Yes. Yeah, that's... I think I said it last week. Like, I'm really just starting to, like, my X feels are just starting to fall apart in general. And so even this one with Al Ewing and being in space and everything, I was just like, all right, let's just
yeah.
The next one's it. Let's just get it over with. Let's pull the Band-Aid off and go here.
I have a feeling Marvel knows that. I think they know that via the sales with Hickman leaving. And we'll never really know the true story behind why Hickman is leaving. I mean, he says what he says, but I think, I don't know. We don't know what the sales are, right? But I've got to assume that they thought this was going to be epic and that they could launch so many books because there was this promise of this just like overwhelming story. And then it ended up being fluff because of COVID and the sales weren't there. And so book after book after book was being canceled. And now, he's gone. And when we looked at February solicitations, we've got Lives, we have X-Men, we've got a one-shot, and we've got, like you said, a book coming out that seems very specific to, it's directed towards a very specific group of X readers, which we're not a part of. We're not in that group of people reading that book. So I think we're starting to see the actual ramifications, and I think once we get through Inferno, we're really going to know. I think we're really going to know, like, are we going to have 13 X books, or are we just only going to have 3 or 4, and then a bunch of minis, which I hope is the case, to be absolutely honest, because I want to be able to pick a la carte X books, because there's, if we had known what we're reading now, I'm sure we would have picked up half the books that we got in the X line. Like the Way of X, like we were totally sold a bill of goods and that shit did not pan out. And, again, we try to stay positive, but I'd feel burned. I'm right there with you, Nate. I feel burned on the X books.
Yeah.
So that's Sword.
Speaking of feeling burned.
Oh, yeah. Next up, we have X-Force issue number 25 by Benjamin Percy. Yeah, this one had me scratching my head. It doesn't feel connected at all to anything that we've been doing in X-Force. This is a Wolverine story. Like, Inferno isn't happening in this book. At least you can't tell it is.
Right.
And there are so many breaches of protocol, and I sound like a fucking, like, you can't do that. You're not allowed to do that. Like, that's what I sound like. But, like, you have a group of humans show up on the island in this area that Wolverine's like, no one can surf this area because the tide and the surf is so violent that I can't even survive it. And he almost dies surfing in it. And then these humans show up and they're like, hey, you alright, bruh? You know, and then he becomes buddy-buddy with them because he thinks they're mutants. He doesn't even check to see if these people are mutants. He just assumes that they're mutants because they're on the island. Look, man, X-Force, how many times has the island been breached by non-mutants?
A lot.
Hello? Right? So we've got a surfing story. He has an adamantium surfboard that can cut him. Okay, cool, whatever. And then you've got this group of humans who are technically, they're on the island to steal mutant babies. That's this issue in a nutshell. It was so fucking confusing. I'm trying not to be negative, but this felt like such a waste, in my opinion.
No.
It didn't make any sense. Rules of Krakoa that had been set up by Hickman and other writers within the X office were completely thrown out the window. There's no mention of Inferno. This is like I don't know where this fits. I don't know where the story fits. And again, there's a little Kid Omega story stuck in the middle of it with Kid Omega being broken up by one of the Cuckoo sisters. And she breaks up with him via telekinesis, like via dreams. Like, that's it. There's no, like, this was such a throwaway issue, and it's completely disappointing because apparently X-Force is going to continue on into 2022, and I'm kind of thinking, like, I don't think I'm going to continue reading it.
I'm not, yeah. I think this might be the last one for me.
The only way I am reading this is if we get a clear-cut roadmap after Inferno. Like, Inferno has to be just jaw-dropping awesome. It's going to be like, this is the roadmap to 2022 for the X office, and here are the books that are going to take you through it, and we promise you we're not fucking with you. I think that's really the only way I'm going to be able to read it, and I don't see that happening. I just don't. It's going to be X-Men, New Mutants, and Excalibur if it gets Excalibur if it's Teenie Howard on the book,
and Marcus Toe.
Yes, and
I mean it can be Marcus Toe or better.
Right. What other? I'm trying to think of what other books we have.
Wolverine.
No, I think I'm done with that.
Yeah, and Benjamin Percy tweeted today. Someone said, "It's issue 16 because that's the last one that's been solicited." They're like, "Is this the last issue of your run?" And he said, "Not by a long shot." So his Wolverine will continue after.
The only again,
Lives and Deaths.
Same thing with Wolverine. If Lives and Deaths, which he is writing, does not blow my socks off, Wolverine is out. What else is there? I can't think of any other books. I mean, a lot of books are over that we don't think are going to get read. So I don't know. Yeah, that one I'm giving the annual, and if the annual is good, then we'll see. But I don't have faith in it. There's just a lot of other comics that I want to read that are coming out that, I think the X books have had their chance. I will wait for another big reboot, a Hickman reboot from somebody else. I think I'm gonna go down the same road with you and kind of cool my jets and just pick up the foundational pillars of X-Men books and just pick here and there. But this issue was just totally throwaway. Let's get to chat here really quick. Jaden says, if you broke up with me through my dreams, I would never talk to you again. No doubt. I felt for Kid Omega. I will say that. That was a shitty move. Basically her sisters told her, like, you either pick the dick or you pick us, and we're forcing you to pick us. So break up with him. Rod Excalibur is awful. So is New Mutants. That's what. Hey, you're entitled. You're entitled to your opinion. We won't say otherwise. That's why I'm reading back issues. Got it.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, I think those are our X books. I just want to move on. I just feel dirty. Dark Ages, issue 3. We want to talk about a book that was good, but read way too fast.
Yes.
But that is the only criticism I have of the book, is it read too fast. And I can
it read very quickly, but it was a lot of fun. It was just a fun book.
So we've kind of dabbled in this idea that we're going to do this like top 5, maybe top 3 writers of the year towards the end of the year. And I think Tom Taylor is making an absolute legendary run right now at saying that he should be in the top 3 this year for 2021. Elseworld writing off the chain with this Dark Ages and the first issue of Dark Knights of Steel. Tom Taylor's writing 7 Secrets, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so 7 Secrets, amazing. He's writing Superman. He's writing Nightwing.
Which, by the way, if anyone hasn't heard, is getting a crossover. Nightwing and Superman, Son of Kal-El.
Cannot wait.
I'm super excited about that.
Yeah, but let's get back to Dark Ages. I think he's crafting a really badass Elseworld story here. And what I really like, Tom Taylor is number 1. Thank you, Rod. What I like about this is, and I think I told you this earlier in the week, I love that in both of his Elseworld stories, especially this one, you don't have, like, your grounded foundation of who's a hero and who's a bad guy are kind of thrown out the window in this book, right? You've got Mr. Fantastic and a bunch of other Marvel heroes that are working for Apocalypse. And it's obvious that Apocalypse, or at least the way we're reading it and being told to read it, is the bad guy of the story. But you have foundational characters who are under his command that you're like, wait, no, what are you doing? Right? And I just like that. I really like that. And I feel like this issue makes it, I think it conflicts the reader, but in a good way, in my opinion.
No, it makes sense.
So,
yeah.
Well, anyway, basically, essentially in this issue, they're trying to, the other side realizes, Black Panther's side realizes that Iron Man has been stolen. They send Quicksilver over to do some recon and maybe potentially get him. Quicksilver shows up, sees his dad being used as a battery, gets mind controlled by, I can't remember who. I think it's a mutant, isn't it? Like, I can't remember.
I can. Oh no, it's Purple Man.
Purple.
Jessica Jones.
I don't know who that is.
Oh really?
No, I
ever
don't.
watched the TV show?
I have not seen it.
Oh man, that's good.
Sorry.
That's really good. Yeah, it's Purple Man. I think technically he is originally a Daredevil villain,
Okay.
but he fits in with the Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Iron Fist, Luke Cage.
Okay.
Group.
So he takes control of Quicksilver. Quicksilver comes back and literally just starts killing people on the other side. And the most notable death that we get, the most OP death that we get in this issue, is the Human Torch, where he quite literally gets a spear shoved through his back into his chest, and he flames out. He turns into a sun and just cooks himself.
Nope.
Crazy shit. And then, the group is clearly upset, so they're going to go take on Apocalypse, and Apocalypse now has a fusioned symbiote, which I believe is Miles Morales, Venom, and Carnage put together, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong on that, but that's what it appears to me. Which, that sounds pretty dope to me. Like, that sounds like a legit secret weapon right there. So, anyway, really good issue, written very well, but the only criticism I will say, this was almost my pick of the week, but it read too fast. But the artwork, fantastic. The story, fantastic. Character development, fantastic. Overall, Tom Taylor is firing on all cylinders. And yes, Rod, I apologize. I do not know who Kilgrave is.
Kilgrave is his last name. But yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not up to it.
I think he's known more as Kilgrave later on, like at the very beginning. Like, his key issue is Daredevil number 4, I think, and it's like the Purple Man is here, but then later on they change. They're like, all right, Purple Man can't be taken seriously. So,
gotta call him Kilgrave.
Also, I just want to point out this Ivan Coelho, like Doctor Doom sketch that was in the back.
Yeah.
I love it when they include shit like this because, man, that is so cool.
Yeah, and Doom is pretty prominent in this issue in the sense that he, and that's the other thing is like, can you trust Doom?
Never.
Never, right? But
Even
he's
when
on.
You tell me well, that's not true. I started in Secret Wars. Started, sort of being on his side a little bit.
Right, but then, yeah, we should do a deep dive on Hickman's Secret Wars. We should just do that.
I don't know that I'm smart enough for that.
Nah, we should do it anyway. Jaden says Venom and Carnage. That's what it looks like. It literally here. I'm gonna pull it up. I can because I have my top cam up. It looks like Venom and Carnage and like Miles. I think it's Miles Morales that have combined.
There's 3 of them. Because he says specifically, "Are the 3 of you ready?"
Right.
And then the one entity responds, "Yes, we are ready to hunt."
Yeah. So that's kind of what he looks like. I do think it's. Now it could be just that's how the symbiote reacts to Miles, but the fact that you said 3, I think it is Miles Morales, Venom, and Carnage in one. Either way, Apocalypse is still kicking major ass. I just this story is fantastic. It's so much fun. The premise of it, the fact that we lost so many characters so quickly in like the first issue was great, and now that we're it's kind of got a Game of Thrones vibe when it comes to like no character is really that safe, and I dig that. I think that's fun. I think that's something obviously that we're missing in the mainstream comics. Obviously we can't get that because no one stays dead forever, blah blah blah, the status quo. So that's why I kind of like these Elseworld stories, even though we know that they don't have full weight. It's just kind of fun. What are you looking up?
So I remember that the newly solicited issue 5, the cover gives, I think it gives away who the 3 are. So I don't know if you want me to tell you or not.
Yeah, go ahead. I don't care.
It looks like it's Venom, Carnage, and Green Goblin.
Green Goblin?
What's his name?
Harry Osborn.
Yeah, looks like it's Harry Osborn because he's got that really traditional orange curly
Okay,
hair.
I'm still down with that. I think that's cool.
Here, let me copy the image. Let me see.
You're right, Rod. Game of Thrones. Yeah, you're right. Dark Knights of Steel is Game of Thrones for sure. Like, I just think he's definitely on pace for just not giving a fuck about characters. Like I think he told Marvel and DC when he pitched these stories, he was like, I'm gonna fuck shit up, and you can't tell me no.
If you look at the Discord, I put the image there. You can put it on the screen. See if anyone else agrees with me.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that's Harry Osborn, which I think is a very interesting take, having Harry Osborn taken over by symbiotes.
Let me put it here. Pachow. Yeah, no, I think that's cool.
Tiny.
It is tiny. That's what I got. But
anyway, it's issue 5. Just look it up. It's on Geeks and everything else. But
that's dope. Anyway, overall, Dark Ages is still very enjoyable 3 issues in. And I think we need more. I want more from Tom Taylor. I think we need more. I think we need him involved more at Marvel, and we need him more involved, obviously. He's pretty damn involved at DC. I mean, he's got 2 major books. So let's get him involved more at Marvel. I think he deserves it.
Is Tom Taylor's name officially an Insta-buy for you?
It's getting really close. Like, I think... I'm trying to think, like, what character could he do that I'd be like, I have to think about that.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't think of a Marvel character I would deny. Maybe if he did like a Blue Beetle or something, or a Booster Gold.
Yeah, I wouldn't be.
I'd still jump on that because I want to know those characters, and I feel like I would trust him to do a good example.
There's a DC character that I can't stand though. Not DC, Marvel. That I'm like, it's not there yet. Yeah, it'll come to me. But no, he's getting real close. I mean, he's doing fantastic work. He hasn't burned me yet, and I find it. He's filling the Tinian void that we're about to get, with DC, and then it seems like he's starting to slow his independent work down too. Like, he's filling that void really quickly. You know what I need? I need a Tom Taylor independent book. That's what I need. That's what
Other one besides Seven Secrets.
I need another one. I need one. I need one that's not so. I need a Nice House on the Lake style book from Tom Taylor. That's what I want. I don't know if he's into that stuff, but that's what I need. All right, after that, we've got King the Conqueror issue number 4. You didn't read this one, right? You haven't read it yet?
I missed this one, unfortunately.
Okay, so I think you definitely need to go back and read it. It's essentially, again, younger King is breaking all the rules that older King set for him, right? And he's like, don't fall in love. And this issue is essentially him falling even more and deeply in love with this chick. I forget her name. Ravona. He does it. He continues to fall in love with her. She actually betrays him in this issue, and then he becomes the Conqueror. And when he gets back, future into time, he runs into her, reincarnate again, and he refuses to not fall in love with her. So he falls in love with her again. She ends up getting killed, and the issue, you're like, okay, you've learned your lesson, do not love. He's like, fuck it, I'm bringing her back to life. And the issue is him resurrecting her at that very moment. That's the end. And I'm like, dude, like, I don't know if you're going to break the cycle or not. I feel like you're not. I feel like we're doing the whole point of it is like it's a never-ending loop, right? Mm-hmm. But he's destined to do it differently every time, but he always comes back to the same spot. I feel like that's where we're going, but I'm hoping that that's not the case in issue 5. Like, it would be so cool if they broke that cycle. I doubt it happens, but maybe we're going to be surprised. And again, I think issue 5 will have direct correlation and direct what's the word? It'll affect Timeless. I think this series is going to affect Timeless when it comes out. But this was a fantastic issue. I still, it doesn't. It's not hard to read, if that makes any sense. Like it's the connectivity of it, even though it's very dense. It flows very well. So highly recommend King the Conqueror if you're not reading it. If you want to wait until the trade comes out, get it. But if you can still get the singles, I would, because issue 5's next cover is a fucking flawless victory. It's so good. So that is Kang. All right, next up we have Moon Knight from McKay. I really enjoyed this issue again.
Great issue.
I think Moon Knight, again, is another one of these sleeper top 10, if not top 5 books of the year.
It's definitely on my top list for art, for sure. Like, I think the story is great too, but I think the art fits the story so damn well. Again, when you're putting up panels like this, I mean, I don't know, man. That's just, to me, that's amazing.
It's not lacking when it comes to full pages and full page spreads, for sure.
I also am super intrigued by the psychological brain aspects of it all, of his story, and so anytime that we get a bunch of that information, I'm totally on board. And we get a good bit of that in this.
Oh, it's 50-50. It's we're going back and forth between action and a session that he's having with his psychiatrist or therapist, which I think is freaking awesome. But yeah, we, again, it seemed like this week we had a lot of first appearances, and we get that in this issue. He gets set up by a potential ally or someone that's in need of help, and ends up being a setup. And yeah, that ends up happening. We end up getting essentially Moon Knight getting another enemy in this new series, and I don't believe the enemy that gets set up in this book is like it's a new character. Let's see. Jimmy Olsen reference. Is that the guy that I'm talking about? The character that pops up in this book? I forget what he's called. Like the something, I don't remember. Golly gee whiz. I do remember that. Someone said that in the book. Either way, yeah, we get a new villain in this book, and
Zodiac.
Zodiac, yeah. Zodiac. So, if you've got this issue, make sure it's clean. If you're into that kind of thing, that kind of speculatory stuff. And I think, again, I could be wrong on this, but I feel like we're getting a lot of these books that are potentially coming out with the series behind it. I'm digging it. I hope that the She-Hulk books that come out, in February or January, or do the same thing. Because Moon Knight, I didn't know what to think about Moon Knight, and it's just been good. Oh, hold on. Zodiac came out years ago during Dark Reign. Oh, I didn't know that. Well, then I'm a dum-dum. I mean, I don't know. Again, we're still novice to this to these books, but either way, great issue, artwork fantastic. Looking forward to the next issue. I am actually looking forward to the Devil Rain run because, Moon Knight apparently is going to be involved in the Devil's Reign event because Moon Knight's counterpart / someone who may take over the mantle of Moon Knight is going to be running the streets while he's occupied. So, looking forward to that.
Looking forward to watching after the mission.
The mission. All right, Shang-Chi.
Ooh.
I have been telling you that you need to read this. I'm just going to let you borrow it so you don't have to worry about buying the trade.
I think it's good enough that I probably should do it.
I think you should. The artwork. Let's just talk about the artwork. The artwork is fantastic in this series, and this number 6 really amps it up with Thor. Now, I told you I thought that Thor was going to just completely wreck the house of Shang-Chi that he was building with his father's empire, and he quite literally does that with his hammer in this book. And we get an epic showdown between Shang-Chi and Thor, and you're like, well, how does that happen? Well, it involves the cosmic cube, and we technically get a Norse thunder god versus a Chinese-centric. I would assume this is a god that exists within lore of within China, their equivalent of Thor in this book, and it is fucking balls to the wall awesome. This is my Marvel pick of the week. I'll say that. So I'm just gonna go ahead and just yep.
Yes, pick of the week
for Marvel.
They're definitely doing it right. If you're interested at all in the series, the trade comes out December 8th. That's issues 1 through 6, so including this one. And issue 7 comes out on December 22nd. So you can pick the trade up, and if you like it, you can start right at 7 and never.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's really good. I'm debating going back and reading, the 1 through 5 or 6 that came out prior, which kind of set him up to take over his father's criminal empire. Mm-hmm. I think I read the first 2 issues and then I stopped. So I think I need to go back into Marvel Unlimited and read that because this new number 1 picks up right after that. Why they did that, I don't understand. I'm not gonna, Marvel makes no sense anyway. But Quiku says Shang-Chi this week was amazing. Might be some of the best art I've seen in years. It's nice how all the little plot threads are coming together so quickly. I totally agree. Like it hasn't felt rushed. I think the only part that I'm still trying to get my head around, and I know it's coming, I know that it's going to get paid off, is his mother. His mother in the negative zone. I'm still trying to figure out where that, and I think we're going to get the answer in the next issue. But that's the only part of the story currently right now where I'm like, where are we going here? But that being said, this is fantastic. And I started reading this book, or the first one, and then this one before I had even seen the movie. I just saw the movie, and I'm even more like, there's so many things they can do with this character, and I want him involved more now that he can kind of, at least in the comics, he's really, I love how he's able to hold his own amongst the Avengers. I think it's fucking awesome. So.
Well, now I gotta go back and get the other trade too.
Well, you can read it on Unlimited if you want.
Bro,
it's already on.
Yeah,
it's already on there.
I know.
I mean, I'm just saying. Anyway, Shang-Chi, that is my Marvel pick of the week. But not my week over the week. Let's get into some DC. Jaden kind of already alluded to this. He said, where did he say it? He said, Tiny Onion's end of Batman, bad. Okay.
Oh, no. That was Rod.
Let's say, oh, it was Rod. Never mind. I'm sorry, Jaden. Rod said it was bad.
I'm very curious what you have to say about it.
Well, I want to know what you said to say about it.
No, I want to know what you have to say about it first.
Why?
Because I already know what I have to say about it.
What do you have to, I want to know.
I will not be telling you until you tell me first.
Overall,
Mm-hmm.
Jimenez's artwork is absolutely gorgeous.
Yes, no. How do you feel about what Tinian did with the story of this book? God.
I feel like it's rushed. And I'm saying that with this specific issue in mind, because I've said that periodically through the Fear State actual event, right? I've said that numerous times. This specific issue felt incredibly rushed. That being said, I liked a lot of the payoffs, right? Like I liked how they dealt with the floating magistrate ship going into Gotham Bay. I liked the Poison Ivy reunion. I liked Miracle Molly having a character development moment where she had a struggle of, do I push the button anyway or not? I thought that was great. Dude, that shot of her just like seeing everything, fucking awesome. I like that she progressed and that she, Batman gets another ally. I don't have a problem with that. But the book ends with the flower literally saying end. And again, I said this to you at work, if there's that one guy who's picking this up but isn't picking up any of the tie-ins and is so penny pinching that he's not going to pick up Omega, like if you did that, I'm not saying that that's what everybody's doing. Obviously, everyone's going to pick up the Omega. This would be the shittiest ending ever. Like, you get no resolve, because in the book it doesn't even mention Omega, right? It says around the world.
That I think is the weirdest thing. That the editorial staff on this book in particular, I think, really fumbled. I know it's weird that we don't say that a bunch, and obviously, whatever, but I do. I think the editorial staff really fumbled on guiding readers on where they should be going next.
Yeah. So if we get to the chat, Rod says, "All right, was the best part of this book, was very rushed and it sucked." Quiku says, "Didn't dig Batman. Why have Molly threaten to do it and get talked out of it so easily? Why have Ivy say she needs to give up her power for her sanity and not just let it be her making a heroic sacrifice?" I think that's all valid. I think that all those critiques speak to the fact, it just says this whole thing was rushed, because we clearly know now that Onion wanted out. He didn't want to write Batman anymore, and he was building up this giant event, and then they were like, "Hey, we want you to write more," and he's like, "Fuck that." Now Omega remains to be seen. Let's see what happens. I have high hopes for it. I'm sure it'll let me down. Rod says the Miracle Molly and the Gardener were the best things to come out of this. I definitely stand on that stance with Molly. I love Molly as a character, and my hope is, and I know it's probably not going to happen, but my hope is that she doesn't just get tossed. She's a really cool character. I think she deserves her own book. I think there are multiple Tinian characters that deserve their own DC book, and I will actually submit writing to DC and be like, "Hey, where's my Miracle Molly book? Where's my Ghostmaker book? Where's my Clone Hunter book? Where's all these different characters that he developed? Where are they? I need them." because I think they're fantastic. I think he put a lot of heart in those characters, and if they're just going to get thrown away, or they're off to Europe, or now it's a bad guy and they're dead, I'm going to be really pissed if that happens. I agree with what everyone's been saying. The artwork is what carried Fear State through this entire event. And when we had that one issue where we had 3 pages of Jimenez, that was the only blip when it came to artwork.
So weird.
Yeah. So looking forward to Omega. Is Jimenez on Omega, or is it your boy?
Yeah. So Ricardo Federici.
I'm not upset with that. I'm cool with that. But
what person in their right mind would be upset with that?
Well, because I just want as much Jimenez as I can get. I'm sorry.
Okay. I know, but you don't get Federici interiors very often. You take them when they're given to you. All right.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm not. Listen, you don't have to put a gun to my head. I get it.
Rod, if you haven't seen it already, look at the cover B for the Batman Annual.
Yes.
That's the story that wraps up those Ghostmaker backup stories that we've had in Batman. The cover B is like a dedicated Ghostmaker cover. It's a must pick up for a Ghostmaker fan.
It looks like he's a fucking Jedi. It's amazing.
But yeah, you're right. Those were Joker War Peeps, not a Fear State.
Either way, I wanted it to be. I don't know. I want to say good things, but it just felt rushed. It just felt like I don't care anymore. And that's just it's very disappointing. And my fear is that we may get that with Nice House on the Lake.
I don't think so.
I hope not. I really don't. I hope not. And that's why I stopped reading Joker. I stopped reading Joker because we're still gonna get Joker until February. And I'm like, yeah, but is Joker gonna do the same thing? Are we to the point now where it's just gonna tumble and just deflate to the end? And even then, is someone going to pick up Joker after that? I don't want to read that. So, I'm out.
Yeah, I don't know.
But that being said, I am looking forward to Williams's run. Just interested to see how it goes. I want to continue to read Batman. It's a pillar of DC. I want to keep it in the show. So hopefully it's good.
Hopefully so.
All right, after that, we've got the one Fear State book this week that was just and that is Nightwing issue 86. Taylor still continuing to show and write a clinic on how to do a proper tie-in to an event. And I think everybody at DC and everybody at Marvel need to take notes, because this is how you do it. Mm-hmm. I felt like this was the most engaging tie-in I've read all year to any form of event, whether it's DC or Marvel, in my opinion.
Yeah, I also think that I don't know. I think honestly, I just think we need. I think Joshua Williamson is going to do a great job. So it's not a knock against him. I almost feel like we should just give Tom Taylor the damn Batman book already, because I mean, and maybe I'm wrong though, because maybe Batman's too gruff and boring for Tom Taylor, but this team, this as a team book with Tim Drake and Dick and the Batgirls, and Babs, I want that as a team book. I want to see them, the Bat family book. Just I know we're about to get a Batgirls book, and I'm sure it's going to be great.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed this book just as a team up book between those 5 characters. It was a lot of fun.
Totally agree. And, again, this is another one of these speculator books. This is a first appearance or cameo, whatever you want to call it. We get a full on view of the Seer in this book. Digging that character.
Yeah. That's the other thing I wanted to mention is if you haven't been reading the Batgirls backups that are in the Batman story, I was really frustrated when this ended. I was like, man, are we ever going to see Seer again? Is this going to be just a character that just drops off the face of the planet? Yep. And it looks like she is going to be the first
big
baddie for the Batgirls. She's literally teased right there at the end. She is there screwing with them already before their book even starts.
That's awesome.
So I really like that they are keeping that continuity going.
Oh, no doubt. And so, again, we essentially get the backstory of how this group destroyed the magistrate headquarters, how they got it to go down into the ground, into the ocean. I really am digging the Nightwing Babs relationship. The group, the family, going like, "Oh, they kissed? Yeah, they kissed finally." I'm so down for that. I think we need more of that in our books. I think we need more of that character development amongst characters that have history together. I think we need more of that. So I don't know how else to say. If you're not reading Nightwing right now, you're missing out. Like, this book has been fantastic. I think it's great for readers that don't necessarily know much about Nightwing, and it's great for readers that have a very extensive knowledge of these characters. I think Tom Taylor, again, can't say it enough, is firing on all cylinders. He's filling that tiny onion void. And you know what? I got to agree with you, Nate. I think, we should just give him just be in charge of Batman and the entire office. Let's go.
Let's do it.
All right. Let's get into Green Lantern, huh?
I can only tell you a little bit about it.
That's fine.
I fell asleep while I was reading it, and then.
Well, all right. Let's go on to the next book then, shall we? No.
Here's the other unfortunate part. All I read was the Jon Stewart story, not the. I know, because that's what's first, and I'm not going to read it out of order. However, the typical artist that does the Jon Stewart art is not here.
Hey.
It's the guy that goes by Crisscross that actually does pretty damn good art.
Okay.
Did a couple of backup stories recently in I think it's Superman. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We're getting more into this weird godlike character who is talking to John and is like, "You are more than just a Green Lantern," and it turns out that John is something called an Ascendant. And we don't quite know what that means, but it basically is like he is more powerful than just the ring.
Okay.
The ring is, it almost seems like they're hinting like the ring is holding him back.
Ooh.
And this godlike character is trying to say, "You're not a Green Lantern, you're an Ascendant." And John is like, "No, I'm a Green Lantern," and like, gets all mad and starts like, the slavers from the previous issues, he starts like kicking their ass and stuff like that. But there's a lot of conflict between Jon Stewart and this character. Then, at the very end, he gets introduced to a character that I think is a really big baddie, like cosmic baddie that I'm not familiar with, but I kind of recognize that person that's sitting on that seat. I don't know if anyone can tell me who that is, but
I don't know.
I feel like I recognize them. So, again, this story is not being told well, but what is being told is still intriguing enough for me to keep reading.
Wow.
I know. Especially, though, I haven't read the Joe Mulligan story, but she is finally getting introduced to the Guardians.
Okay.
Because she's never been introduced to them before.
I thought they were dead. Or one of them died. That's right. The main...
wait. Yeah, the main one died. I don't know. I don't understand. So I haven't read it. So
okay, all right.
I need to read it. Anyone that's reading Green Lantern, it looks like we go. No, this is Joe's story the whole time. It actually looks really interesting, but I just fell asleep, so I didn't read it.
No, you're good. You're good. We'll get to it. All right, cool. Green Lantern. Here, let me pose this to you. Do you think after this run is over, that foundationally the core is going to be something completely different?
What do you mean?
So, like, and again, I probably shouldn't use this as a base for my theory, but I'm going to, because it's the only ground I have to stand on. So, in Chip Zdarsky's Justice League Last Ride run, right? Mm-hmm. Oa blows up. Mm-hmm. And Hal was essentially, it seemed like he was the only Lantern, but he was the only one we knew of that still had a connection to the willpower of the Green Lantern.
Yeah.
And then, Apocalypse becomes the new Oa. John, the Martian Manhunter, becomes essentially the not energy source, but the founding, almost new guardian of
personification of the power.
Correct, and guardian. So, do you think that with that being, obviously that's Elseworld. It doesn't necessarily have any impact on actual DC continuity. Do you think that we're moving in a direction here, especially with John? The ring is holding you back. There's more to this than what you really think. John still has connection to the source. Joe does as well, and Kid Lantern does as well. So are we going to be getting, do you think is everything going to go back to normal and we're going to get a new Oa and the power source is going to be established? Or will the Green Lantern Corps be something completely different by the time this run is midway end or going on to something new?
I think the Green Lantern Corps is exactly like the Nova Corps in Marvel. It's unfortunately writers can't figure out what to do with it besides destroy it and obliterate it and then bring it back again.
Okay.
And so I think that I think we'll probably have a reestablished regular Green Lantern Corps as we recognize it from the past within a year. Sorry, I was just gonna say, Quaku said the Joe side of the story is good. No spoilers, but we get some good plot movements. That is good to know.
Hey,
Also, I do. I want to ask Quaku because I feel like I can trust his opinion. Am I just totally starstruck with Joe Mullen and like because she was created by N.K. Jemisin, or is she actually a good character? Like, I need someone whose opinion I trust.
Yeah, because you can't ask me. Yeah.
Quaku, I don't know if you've read Far Sector. I bet you have, but if you have, I'm curious to know what your opinion is on Joe. If I'm just starstruck, or if she's actually a good character.
All right, we await.
Sure.
While we wait, let's talk about Superman, Son of Kal-El, issue number 5, the controversial issue, the issue that everyone's upset about. Whatever.
About that.
I thought it was a good issue.
I just genuinely forgot about it, and then they kissed, and I was like, oh yeah, it was this issue. And then just kept reading.
And then we kept on moving on. We just moved on. Yeah, I mean, I like that John is, he's growing into the title of Superman in this book, and he's afforded an immense amount of power and energy. So what is someone like him going to do with it? He's going to try to save everybody that he can, and he comes to the realization that he can't. Yeah. I know that's a overused theme, but I think it's an important thing that John needs to learn.
Well, and I really like the way that Tom Taylor chose to present it, though.
Yeah,
and that he's half Kryptonian, half human. And I can't remember what his friend's name is, but he's like, how do you know you're supposed to just be powerful all the time and not get tired? He's like, you know anyone else that's half Kryptonian, half human? Like, how do you know what the rules are for these people?
Right.
And John's like, yeah, I guess you're right. Like,
got me there. Yeah.
And so I think that's going to be an interesting obstacle for John as a character to have to consistently overcome, because he can't be the exact hero that his father was. He has to be his own hero to figure out what that means.
So let's get past that. Let's get past the actual, legit plot of the book, and let's get into this, surprise, whatever you want to call it, announcement with the sexual orientation of John. Do you think... I don't know how to say this. I feel like they should have not said anything. Does that make sense?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, yes, I think they should have not said anything anyway, but the reason why DC editorial allowed this to happen, I'm sure Tom Taylor had actually a good spot in his heart to do it because he wanted to do it and he wanted representation in comics.
Right.
But the only reason why DC editorial and DC higher-ups agreed to this is because they knew they could create fanfare and make money off of it.
Yeah.
Like, they did that on purpose.
I know.
Yeah, Tom Taylor, I'm sure, was like, look, guys, just let my story just come out, and like, let's do all this talking about it once it comes out. But no. If you didn't tell it before, then we couldn't put the Pride sticker there. We couldn't do all of the reprints of the first 4 issues with the Pride sticker on there. Like, listen, I love that. I love that this is here, and that there's kids that can pick this up and feel identifiable with this comic. I love that it's getting attention. I love that there are people out there that are saying, hey, maybe there are some comics out there for me, because I felt like that was something, my identity wasn't represented whatsoever.
Right.
But it's not like Tom Taylor was sitting there going like, like, I know
Right.
but that's what DC editorial was doing. They were going,
Yeah,
I know
I
how
think
we're going to
that's-
sell some comics.
I really think that's unfortunate because I think it would have, I don't want to say more impactful, but I think I just, as a reader, I would have been more like, oh, fuck yeah. You know what I mean? Like, to go into the shop on Tuesday or Wednesday, whenever you pick up your DC books, and just hear the entire shop talking about it and not going, oh, this is the issue, right? Mm-hmm. Like, hey, did you read Superman Son of Kal-El? Oh my gosh. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, I think it deserved that. And it just, that's, if there's anything that I want to get behind, standing, with creators like Hickman who are so frustrated with solicitations and or editorial groups going like, we got to talk about this now. We got to get it out a month before so that we can grow up high so we'll sell a bunch of issues. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think as a reader, we weren't afforded the surprise or even just the genuine read. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's frustrating for me. And take that how you will. If you don't agree with that, that's okay. That's fine. We all have our own opinions, but I just feel like this story would have been so much more impactful if we were able to do that. Like, to actually read it and you turn that page and you're like, you know what? I felt this building since issue 1 and it's finally here. And I knew it. I fucking knew it. They were, they had eyes for each other and we didn't get that, right? Like, I think we both can agree that since issue 1, there has been something there. Right? Like, whether it's the artists and the way he depicted the two characters, or if it was the way they were written, there was something building between those two characters. And switch it however you want, whether it's John hooking up with a chick, or if it's a guy, or whatever. There was something building artistically and written-wise, and it was completely thrown out the window because DC editorial wanted to make sure that everybody knew that this was coming. And I think that sucks, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I think it sucks too. And I don't know, what can we do?
Yeah, anyway. Quiku says, I think, speaking about Joe, I think she's awesome. I think it helps that Far Sector is a great intro into the character, maybe how Marvel and DC should do legacy heroes, and have a mini/maxi with great art and writing to set a strong impression of the characters immediately. So, there's that.
Well, I'm glad to hear that my opinion is vindicated, because that's exactly how I feel.
There you go.
But at the same time, like, I think she almost has an unfair advantage somewhat, though, because she had N.K. Jemisin and Jamal Campbell doing the art and the writing on this. I'm like, what a fucking powerful team. Like, just absolutely killing it. And so,
did you buy the trade?
I haven't. I haven't, just strictly because I'm really hoping they come out with some type of hardcover for it. Or, in my wildest dreams, this is wild and it wouldn't happen for years, is if they come out with an absolute version. That would be amazing. But do you know what DC's absolute versions are?
No.
So DC, so I don't need to go on. Anyway, absolutes are even bigger than omnibuses. Like, they're not quite treasury size, but they're almost that.
Kind of in between.
And they include a ton of extra material, like sketches from concept. They include a lot of like reading material from the writer about how they came up with the idea. It's considered the absolute best way you can collect that story.
Right.
And they usually only do it for stories that are like super top notch and are only about 12 to 20 issues.
Gotcha. All right. Well, yeah, that'd be dope. Patty says, if I remember correctly, he put it on Facebook, and someone in the comments said they would have liked to read it and find out instead of seeing it in Facebook. And I think exactly. I would have too. Because I feel like we were building to it. It was, I don't want to say it was obvious, but it was definitely there. You know what I mean? Like, you could pick up on the fact that these two characters were going to have chemistry. So I still think it was great. I thought, again, I'm Tom Taylor killing it. We've said it enough in this show, but it was a really good book, and I can't wait for issue 6.
Yep.
All right, let's get into some Tiny Onion with Nice House on the Lake, issue 6. This is the last book until we get our break until March. Or April? March. Ooh, I don't know, man. I don't know if I can wait that long. we get.
I'm off
I think
of it now. Get it.
you're off of it. I told you that this book answers a bunch of questions, but then throws a shit ton more questions at you.
Yeah, I don't know how much it answers.
Well, it answers in the sense that I think we're getting a better idea of who Walter is, which is essentially it's some kind of either AI or robot or alien AI robot that has been sent to Earth to cultivate the best of the best. And they're going to be studied. And that's, we kind of got that vibe a little bit. And he's grown, Walter has grown attached to this group because his creators, what I don't know yet, gave him human tendencies and feelings. And he became attached to these people that he acquired. And, we get the backstory of that. We find out that this one character, I can't remember his name, who was in the other building. Reg kind of knew that this was going to happen and that it feels like Reg is trying to figure out a way to have his cake and eat it too, right? Like he feels for Walter, right? Mm-hmm. Because he's his friend, but he also doesn't want the world to end and he thinks he knows how to fix it. And we find out why people are melting in the streets. It's because Walter has been accumulating all of these versions of how the world's going to end, and he just kind of unleashed it all on the Earth, or at least we think he did, or at least this group that's controlling him. And so the group basically finds out that they may be able to get out of this situation. I doubt it. I bet by the end of the book, it's just to be like, and you're fucked, and the world ends. I think that's how it's probably going to end. But what I really like about the book is we get all this information. We get all of this. This is what's happening. This is how it's being done. And then at the end, when the group realizes that, oh shit, we really are like this really is the end of the world. Shit's hitting the fan. Walter wipes everybody's brains. And it's like a complete reset, and season 2,
yeah, it very much feels that way.
Yeah. And it didn't bother me. I thought it was really good. I think, again, Tinian is just on his game in this book. It feels like this is where his focus is at, not Batman, obviously, and it's more on this psychoanalysis of society and character development amongst different ethnicities and sexual orientations and political views. And I think that's big. I think that's really big.
Yeah, I will say that I feel, I don't know, I felt a little bit strange about the ending, just the sort of the reset, because, I don't know, it almost makes me question how many times this has happened before, and I feel like that as a plot line is something that's going to take too much time. And we only have 6 more issues. And so I just hope that we're not going to spiderweb too many questions and end up with a lost and not answer those questions. Because
I think what would be cool
I want answers.
Yeah, I think what would be cool is if we flip it, right? So in the first 5 issues, because not in this issue, the first 5 issues, we get 3 to 4 pages of a specific character out in what looks like the area has been burned to the ground, right? And we're like, what's going on here? Why are they like that? Wouldn't it be kick-ass if we flipped it and we get 3 pages of how they got to that point, and then we get the rest of the book of that person in that environment with the area that they're in on fire, and they've been split up and they're trying to figure out how to get it. I think that would be cool if we just did kind of like a reverse, and we get 3 pages of them being, having a quaint life on the nice house on the lake, and then the rest of the book is that individual and or individuals trying to survive or trying to figure out how to get the end of the world not to happen. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
I think that would be a cool way to kind of ease what you're saying, which is, are we just going to build up back again until we get to the last issue and then be like, and this is how it ends? Yeah, that would be a total major letdown. But if we flipped it, and what we usually get in the book is the first 3 pages, and what we've been usually getting in the first 3 pages being the main part of the book, then I think you're really revitalizing season 2, if you will, of Nice House on the Lake.
Yeah.
Let's see. We'll have to wait until March. All right, next up, we've got Primordial, which you haven't read, so I didn't scrub this from the show. So second to last book of the night, that is Chicken Devil, issue number 2. This is my pick of the week. Am I just pushing the button? Yeah.
I didn't read this one either.
I'm almost certain that if you had read this book,
That's the gas.
this would have been the guy's pick of the week.
I'll give love to 2 books this week.
All right. Chicken Devil. Go get it. Just go get it. Just go get it. This book is insane. It's insane. The name is insane. What's going on in the book is insane. And man, do I feel for our main character, because man, he just keeps on getting kicked in the balls every issue. I don't really want to give much away. Outside of the artwork still continues to be fantastic. The pacing and the actual structure of the book and how things are read, on fucking fire. Like, I don't feel like I'm missing something. In a lot of these books that we're reading, I feel like there's just this one part of the book that's like, wow, they dropped the ball there. And then we get back, we get picked back up. I can't talk. But this book's got everything. And then let me just say this. Someone gets shot with a shotgun through a door and there are a shit ton of holes through them. That's all I'm going to say. It reads exactly like how Nate described it. This Breaking Bad, Guy Ritchie, almost Scott Pilgrim in the sense of like seeing the word fuck written out, like stuff like that. It's badass. It's my pick of the week. I think if you're not reading it and you're into more mature titles, pick it up. It's fantastic. Not for the kids, obviously, but really good. I think it's so good. What up, Stefan? And thank you for saying that's my great pick. It's the best pick.
I will say, as someone who doesn't super care about publishers one way or the other, but has been disappointed with the Aftershock books I've picked up, I'm very happy to hear that this book is breaking that mold.
Oh yeah,
sort of crummy books from Aftershock. So
I think
maybe we just picked the wrong ones too.
What was the other Aftershock book that we read like extensively?
The last one was Nuclear Family.
Yeah, that one started off great and then it just got. The other one that I read, what was it? It was the one about ghosts on the Fukushima nuclear plant. Oh, what was that called? Something Company or Inc. Anyway, that one started off really good and then it kind of tumbled a little bit. But Chicken Devil so far has been on a roll, man. It is really good. All right, our last book of the night, Radio Apocalypse from Ram V. This was really solid.
This was mine.
That's Nate's pick of the week.
I
see why.
I am an absolute sucker for post-apocalyptic stories. It's literally the most cliche, overdone shit in our generation, and I just don't care.
So it's like cosmic, then post-apocalyptic.
Yes,
gotcha,
for sure. And then probably possession horror after that. But I love this story. I love this idea of like, we don't know what's going on. There's an apocalypse of some kind. We know that outside the city gates is dangerous. The only glimpse of something dangerous that we've seen are these disgusting irradiated wolves, but we don't really know like what else is out there. There is this, radio station that's the only one around, at least that people know of in this area, that's still playing music, and it's almost like a beacon of hope for those around. We see a couple of people trying to get to Bakersville or Bakerstown, or whatever the name is. One of them's injured and doesn't make it, but you just get this idea that this is a symbol of hope for the people that are lost out in the wilderness. Right. However it is that they ended up not in one of these settlements. And the stakes, I think, are pretty high pretty quickly too. Like right off the bat, the mayor or the guy that's in charge of Bakerstown has said there's like 80 people there or 89 people, and he's like, there's not a lot of us and we're barely making it. And then at the end of the issue, we find out that a settlement close by hasn't had a restock in years, and they're about to be completely out of materials 100%. And this was an SOS letter to let them know every single citizen is headed to Bakersville right now.
Yee.
So I'm interested to see exactly whose viewpoint we're going to see this story told from. I don't think it's going to be one character.
Right.
The way that this issue is introduced on the back is a boy that breaks into the radio station to try to steal precious metals like coppers and not
Right.
actual precious, but like worth money metals.
Right.
Copper or brass or gold or something. And he gets caught, and so the guy's like, you have to stay here and work for me to work off your crime, essentially. And but we don't really get the whole story told. Only a quarter of the story is told through his eyes, and so
Yeah.
I'm interested to see, who that is. I love the team here. I love Romvi, and I like I can't say his name either, so Anand RK, he even shortens his name. And then of course Aditya Bidikar, who I think is I think half the reason why I like his work so much is just because of his awesome Twitter account. He has a really good Twitter account. If that's your thing, go follow him. I will say this, it's not bothersome enough to keep it from being even my pick of the week, but someone needs to get their act together at Vault in the production of their books, because this is the same exact problem that I've had with multiple books of theirs in single issue format. The scans are wrong. These are blown up too big. Someone is not scanning these images properly. I don't know if the artist is turning in images too small and they're getting stretched, but it's one of the reasons why I had such a hard time with Barbaric. I said Behemoth, I meant Barbaric, is because the art is good, but it's stretched and it looks like it's pixelated, and I see it it's here on every single page. I even handed it to Megan. It was just like, hey, look at this, and like, does this look weird to you? And she's like, it looks a little fuzzy to me. So like, it's not just me.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Someone needs to get their shit together at Vault on that.
Maybe I'll have like a gas leak at your house. Maybe, I don't know.
It is.
No,
Anyway.
I trust your eyes.
I also really love, like I've said in our haul video, I love the representation of this book. Just getting an entire team of Indian creators on a book telling an awesome story. I'm about it, and
Yeah.
Vault book, right? We don't get a lot of those. So.
No, and I think anytime, just like you said with Aftershock, anytime we can get the opportunity to support independent comics, we want to do that. Not that we like our Marvel, we like our DC. Don't get us wrong.
Majority of our books.
Yeah, but whenever we can get an independent book that we're both like, "Heck yeah, that's amazing," we're gonna highlight it, because we want those creators to succeed in their endeavors outside of the big two. You know what I mean? And I think whenever we get that opportunity, we're gonna do it. And you this got on your radar. You told me about it. I jumped on it. I thought it was a great book. The colors are just mind-boggling. They're just so wicked. Overall, a great book. I will continue on to issue 2 for sure.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right, so that's going to do it for episode 67 of Two Fat Guys Pull Us. We appreciate every single one of you that are watching this live right now, and every single one of you that are watching this as a previous episode. We could not do this without you. We do this for y'all. We want to nerd out, but we also want to, bring premium reviews of novice comic book readers. So again, if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell, give us a like, just help us out with the algorithm, and we'll keep on moving towards 1,000 subscribers. We are going to give away Amazing Spider-Man issue number 4, first appearance of Silk. I promise you, once we hit that number, we are doing it. Also, if you haven't already and you're into breaking cards live online, go over to Shuffle Wizard here on YouTube, subscribe, hit that bell. This week we did Magic the Gathering. The Crimson Vow was really cool. Those cards are so nice and so much easier to open those packs. My thumb is not sore since like when I did Pokemon, man. That hurt. That being said, next week we are opening 3 booster packs 2 of them which are Vivid Voltage. I got my hand on some Vivid Voltage booster packs. We're going to try to get that Fat Pikachu Rainbow Secret. So I got 2 of these. You know, I got that Fat Pikachu right here. We just want a rainbow. So anyway, we're going to be opening that, and then we have 1 box of Fusion Strike as well that we'll be opening live at some point this week. I don't know if I'm going to do it Friday or if I might do it Tuesday. Was kind of fun. Just like I had gotten my editing done for 2 Fat Guys Pull List for Wednesday's video, so I was like, you know what, fuck it, we're going live. So just keep an eye out for that. You know, if you're subscribed, you'll get a notification of when we're going to do that. And yeah, see you guys Wednesday for our new comic book day for the week or the day of November 23rd, I believe. And then we will be back on our regular schedule programming of Sundays. So we'll be back next Sunday, not Saturday. And yeah, let's do it, Stefan. I know you'll be there. I know you'll be there. Hard to open cards. Cards are a bitch. Yes, they are, dude. Like, I opened 2 boxes of Fusion, and like literally this part of my thumb was just, it hurts so bad. Like, I think I got like a hangnail. It was fucking trauma. So I'll have a new system hopefully by the time next week comes around for Shuffle Wizard. But anyway, thanks again, guys, for watching. And as always, read more comics. We'll see you guys later.